Trump sued the BBC for $10 billion, missed his own deadline, refused to hand over a single document, and now a federal judge is asking, why shouldn't I sanction you? Here's what's actually happening and why it matters. Donald Trump filed a defamation lawsuit against the BBC in federal court in Florida, claiming the network manipulated footage in a documentary about January 6th. He says an edit spliced together two parts of his speech, parts that were actually separated by 50 minutes and made it look like he was directing the crowd to march to the Capitol. His price tag for that, $10 billion in damages. But here's where it starts to collapse. The BBC didn't back down. They responded to Trump's 500 document request with 40,000 documents and a full privilege log. They played by the rules. They showed up. Trump turned over 0 documents, 0 emails, 0 communications about January 6th. His legal team told the court the trust where he holds his money is a third party. They can't touch it. And his private communications, off limits. The BBC said, absolutely not. You claimed reputational harm. You claimed you had nothing to do with January 6th. That is the entire foundation of your case. You opened this door. Now walk through it. Then it gets worse. On June 5th, Trump had a court deadline to respond to the BBC's motion to dismiss. He missed it entirely. The federal judge, Roy Altman, had to step in and ask, this is a lawsuit you filed in my court and you didn't respond? Should I bring sanctions against you? Trump's lawyers rushed in. They said it was inadvertent, an accident. He's just too busy with Iran, with everything else. Please, Your Honor, just give us more time. Before that, they tried to disqualify the judge. That was denied. Now, they're not producing financial records. They're not producing January 6th communications. They're blowing deadlines and asking for extensions. This is a pattern, and the courts have a name for it. A federal judge in the Southern District of Florida previously used the term vexatious litigant to describe this exact behavior and sanctioned Trump and his former attorney, Alina Habba, over $1 million in a prior RICO case they filed for billions, calling it peak vexatious conduct. Trump has sued the Treasury Department for $10 billion. He sued the New York Times for $10 million. He sued CBS. He sues everyone for $10 billion, then refuses to prove the damages in court. Because the moment you file suit, you don't get to control the game anymore. The BBC gets to depose you under oath as a private citizen, not as the president, and that's what he can't survive. Legal analysts put it plainly. Trump can dish it out, but he cannot take it. He wanted the headline. He wanted the fundraising bump. He wanted $10 billion plastered across every news cycle. But when the BBC said, great, let's go to trial, sit down, raise your right hand, he wants to take his ball and go home. So here's the question that should keep every American up at night. If a sitting president of the United States weaponizes the court system, files billion-dollar lawsuits for the headlines, refuses discovery, misses his own deadlines, attacks judges who push back and faces 0 consequences while in office, what does that tell the next generation about what power actually means in this country?